The Amber Room is often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world, a title it earned due to its breathtaking beauty, intricate craftsmanship, and mysterious fate. A treasure made of amber, gold leaf, mirrors, and precious gems, the Amber Room was considered one of the greatest artistic masterpieces of the 18th century. Its creation and subsequent disappearance remain one of the most captivating stories of art, war, and mystery in history. This story spans over 2 centuries, filled with intrigue, loss, and unrelenting pursuit. As the Amber Room became a symbol not only of artistic brilliance, but also of the violence and chaos that swept through Europe during the World Wars. The Amber Room's story begins in the early 18th century, when Peter the Great, the Tsar of Russia, sought to expand his country's artistic and architectural treasures. After visiting the Prussian palace of Charlottenburg near Berlin, Peter was deeply impressed by an ornate room made entirely of amber. Seeing the Amber Room as an unparalleled symbol of prestige and beauty, Peter decided to commission the creation of a similar room for his own palace at Tsarskoye Selo, near St. Petersburg. The project was handed over to 2 talented craftsmen, Bartolomeo Rastrelli and Andreas Schluter. The Russian version of the Amber Room was to be even grander, incorporating not only amber but gold leaf, mirrors, and intricate woodwork. The room's design was influenced by European Rococo architecture and the opulent tastes of the Russian court. The Amber Room was completed in 1770 and installed in Catherine Palace. The room's walls were covered in panels of amber, each piece meticulously cut and polished to create a stunningly rich, translucent effect. The room featured intricate carvings of mythological figures, and mirrors were strategically placed to enhance the light, creating an almost magical atmosphere. For over 150 years, the Amber Room remained in the Tsar's possession, serving as a symbol of Russia's wealth, cultural sophistication, and the splendor of the Russian monarchy. Throughout the 18th and early 19th centuries, it was a beloved treasure within the Russian royal family. However, as Russia's political and military fortunes ebbed and flowed, the fate of the Amber Room would become increasingly uncertain. In the early 19th century, during the Napoleonic Wars, Russian palaces and treasures were threatened by the advancing forces of Napoleon. Yet the Amber Room survived these turbulent times, as the Russian military managed to protect many of the country's treasures from French pillaging. It wasn't until the outbreak of World War II that the Amber Room would face its greatest crisis. In June 1941, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in what became known as Operation Barbarossa. The Nazis launched a massive attack on Russia, and soon the forces of Adolf Hitler swept across the country, advancing towards St. Petersburg. As German forces encroached on the city, the Russian authorities knew that the Amber Room, along with other priceless treasures in Tsarskoye Selo and the Hermitage Museum, would be at risk. On September 12, 1941, the German army occupied the city of Tsarskoye Selo. By that time, the Amber Room had been moved several times within the palace complex for safekeeping, but its fate was now sealed. The Nazis, led by SS officer Alfred Rosenberg, began to systematically loot the cultural treasures of the city. On October 14, 1941, the Amber Room was removed from Catherine Palace by German soldiers, who carefully disassembled its amber panels and transported them to Königsberg, now Kaliningrad, Russia, a city in East Prussia. There it was stored in a museum, ostensibly to be preserved. The German authorities were well aware of the Amber Room's immense value and its importance as a symbol of Russian culture. They believed that by taking it, they would deprive the Soviets of one of their most prestigious treasures and demonstrate the superiority of German art and culture. Once the Amber Room arrived in Königsberg, its fate became even more mysterious. Throughout the years of the war, the room was rumored to be displayed in the Königsberg Museum, but it was never seen by the public again after 1941. Various reports suggest that it was stored in a secret location, hidden from view to protect it from bombing raids. In August 1944, as the Soviet Red Army approached Königsberg, the Germans feared that the Amber Room would be lost or destroyed in the battle for the city. The final chapter of the Amber Room saga is shrouded in secrecy. Some accounts suggest that the Amber Room was hidden in the basements of the Königsberg Castle, or another nearby location to keep it safe from Soviet forces. However, in the chaotic final months of the war, the Amber Room vanished without a trace. As the Soviets advanced in early 1945, the Germans reportedly moved the room to a different location, and its fate after that remains unknown. Some theories suggest that it was either destroyed during bombing raids on Königsberg, buried in a secret bunker, or smuggled out of the city and hidden in another part of Europe. The most frustrating aspect of the disappearance is that no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to confirm what happened to the Amber Room after 1944. While many have speculated that it was lost to history, there have been continued efforts by treasure hunters, historians, and even governments to uncover its whereabouts. The search for the Amber Room has become an enduring obsession for many. After the war, Soviet authorities launched a large-scale investigation to recover the stolen treasure, but no leads emerged. In the years that followed, various expeditions were mounted, and numerous rumors circulated about the Amber Room's location. Some suggested it was hidden in underground bunkers or sunken ships, while others claimed it had been buried in the forests of East Prussia. Despite these efforts, the Amber Room remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of World War II. Over the decades, the Soviet Union, and later Russia, continued to search for it. In the 1970s, a new theory emerged suggesting that the room had been dismantled, transported to a different part of Germany, and hidden by the Nazis in a secret location. In the 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, new attempts were made to recover the Amber Room, particularly in the Kaliningrad region of Russia, where some believe the treasure might still be hidden. In 1997, a team of German and Russian archaeologists conducted excavations near the city of Kaliningrad, but once again, the search turned up empty-handed. The Amber Room had simply vanished from history. Although the original Amber Room has never been found, the Russian Federation, in cooperation with German craftsmen, decided to recreate the lost masterpiece. The reconstruction effort began in the 1970s and continued for decades. By 2003, a nearly identical replica of the Amber Room was completed and installed in the Catherine Palace in Tsarskoye Selo. The reconstructed Amber Room, while not the original, serves as a tribute to the craftsmanship and artistic legacy of the 18th century. If you like it, please, but like and subscribe to the channel to receive all that is new.